You're listening to Geoversity Podcast. I'm Brad Hillis, the editor of Geoversity. A layman's talk is an important part of a PhD candidate's defense of their thesis. It's usually a talk of about 10 to 15 minutes, and it presents the essence of a candidate's research in an accessible way that family and friends in attendance can understand. My next guest is Debbie Oyeku, who came in to tell us about her research on the Spatial Development Framework methodology in Rwanda's spatial planning processes.
My PhD project is about the institutionalization of planning support system in the spatial planning practice. But before I delve into the scientific information, I first want us to imagine a kind of technology that had to be improved to make it use possible for everybody. And I would like to use a typewriter as an example. Decades ago, all we had to put text on paper is a typewriter, punching hard keys. But those typewriters were not available everywhere, just in offices, organizations, schools, and precisely with secretaries. But 50 years ago, the printer was developed to help put more than text on paper. And that new technology became available almost everywhere. Now we can see printers at homes, schools, offices, even small businesses. Now, my project is about the use of a particular technology in the spatial planning process. What is the spatial planning process? The spatial planning process is the arrangement of places and spaces. That is, where houses are, schools, transportation network, farm, hospitals, and so on and so forth. That is planning ahead for the livelihood of people to be comfortable. Now, 50 years ago, a technology was developed and introduced to help make planning process very easy, relatable, and usable with real-time data. But in the last few decades, there is a debate about the use of this technology. The technology is called planning support system. Researchers have debated about the limited use of planning support system. Some are saying it is being used actually in practice. Some are saying, it's not always being used, or it's being used one, and that is it. A researcher 20 years ago specifically proved that the planning support system is actually being used. But we cannot explain how it becomes part and parcel of the planning practice. That one research gap of 20 years ago is what my research contributes knowledge to. To investigate how the planning support system becomes a part of planning practice in reality, I selected a planning support system called the Spatial Development Framework methodology. The SDFPSS was first developed in 2011. Since its development till date, it has been used in over 20 countries around the world, but especially in the global south. Out of these 20 countries, there is one country that stood out because from the first implementation of the Spatial Development Framework in 2015 till date, there is a part of it being used in the spatial planning process. And the country is Rwanda. For me to understand how the Spatial Development Framework is becoming part of the Rwandan spatial planning practice, I had to get data from field to answer 3 key questions. That is, how do unplanned changes during the use of planning support system help us understand continuous use? What are the network of humans and non-human actors that actually help us explain continuous use of planning support system in practice? And finally, what exactly are the role of the technology itself, that is the planning support system, and the planning organization in the continuous use of planning support system in practice? I spent a total of 4 months over the years in Rwanda talking to people, working with them, also participating in some of the trainings for the use of the planning support system. read laws, reports, policies, and tried to understand in detail how the use of the Spatial Development Framework and their planning process works. And over this time, I was able to also do an extensive document review of policies, laws, news, website information between 2015 to 2023 to actually understand in detail how to answer the three questions of the unplanned changes, the network of humans and non-humans, and the role the technology and the government itself, the organization, play. Based on this, first, the achievement of the SDF-PSS was so obvious, which justify how people were telling me their lived experience, their excitement in the continuous use of the SDF-PSS. First is the hierarchy of settlement. The SDF-PSS was used to identify the hierarchy of settlement across the country. This helped the government to actually plan for districts, provinces, towns, according to their needs, the population, and the spatial reality, which contributes to the spatial development in Rwanda since 2015. And also, they were able to identify the existing socioeconomic linkages they have based on the spatial reality of their settlement. And this has helped them to create linkages with neighboring countries like Uganda, Tanzania, DRC, Burundi. So these benefits are obvious to the government, to the people doing planning process. And for that reason, they are willing to continue the use of the SDF-PSS in the practice. But there was a caveat. The use of the SDF-PSS is well identified and accepted by a ministry which is in charge of urbanization and infrastructure development. This ministry helped to provide spatial location or interpretation of non-spatial policies for all sectors and other government planning processes that exist. But there's a disjoint between the use of the SDF-PSS as a PSS for the planning process at the national level and at the district level. So for the planning support system to be used at the district level, the government actually had to get funding to also develop another type of planning support system that is used at the district level but is complementary to the SDF-PSS used at the national level, which seamlessly integrates both the national spatial planning process and the district spatial planning process in practice. The connection and the redevelopment of another planning support system has helped the continuous use of the SDF-PSS from 2015, and the new PSS that was developed for the district level happened between 2021 and 2023. The use continues till date. So now, the answer is, what are the changes that helps the continuous use? First, they had to simplify the SDF-PSS for the district level use. There are new interactions between a different type of technology and the users at the district level. That was what led to a new type of planning support system at the district level, which is the urban dynamic map. And thirdly, what did the technology and the planning organizations contributed to the continuous use? The Spatial Development Framework, the SDF-PSS, introduced the benefits of spatial planning. But to be used at the district level, the technology has to be simplified. At the government level, they provided infrastructure funding to support the redevelopment of the SDF-PSS for use at the district level. So, going back to the example, typewriter to printer. The SDF-PSS brought the benefits of spatial planning to Rwanda. But they had to simplify the SDF-PSS to make sure that it's usable at the district level, which makes continuous use since 2015 till date possible. Now, to summarize, existing knowledge about planning support system use, as I said earlier, that it is being used because there's user-friendliness, fit for purpose, acceptance at the individual users or organizational level. But existing research present these findings as a well put together process that is easily identified or seen or explained, which has challenged explaining how continuous use or institutionalization of planning support system happen in practice. But the new knowledge my research contributes to both science and practice is that 1. For the continuous use of planning support system in practice, there are unplanned changes, things you don't even envisage at the instance of either development or first implementation of planning support system. And these changes are contributed by network of association between human and non-human actors. That is, the reality of the users, the availability of support from the planning organization or government. And what I found was not a beautiful coordinated arrangement. It is actually a beautiful chaos of different nodes of connection among complex association of human and non-human actors. But the fact remains, was I able to answer the 20-year-old research gap? Yes. Planning support system institutionalization in planning practice is happening, and we have an example of the case study of Rwanda. So, how can we continue to make use of this information? By trying as much as possible to patiently try to trace and understand things that happen from the inception of technology use till the future use, so that we don't leave any space unexplained. Thank you.
Thanks to Debbie for sharing her research. And thank you for listening to Geoversity Podcast. Join us again in future for more layman's talks from PhD candidates, from the ITC faculty as well as other faculties at the University of Twente. And if you'd like to explore more content and make scientific research accessible, check out our website, geoversity.io.